Hello, you awesome humans. Take two at this one because my last one cut out. This is for you if you find that you're dealing with a lot of fuckwits. If you find you've got people in your life and they're just cunts. There's no other way but to describe them as cunts. If you find that you have people who are spitting hate at you, people who are being unpleasant, people who are just doing things which is just not nice. They just want to bring you down. They want to put a little bit of their negativity onto you. It could be your ex-wife. It could be some random dude on the internet. It could be some bloke at work. It could be your boss. It could be anybody at all. If you're dealing with fuckwits, here's a couple of little things. Now, I have a very, very long history of dealing with fuckwits. You put things in perspective. Roughly 3 million people see our stuff every single week. They see my mug every single week. Now, out of 3 million people, you're always going to get a few people who are going to try and spit some hate. And you'll see on our posts, last night we had a guy called Steve who was having a few jabs at one of our guys, Nashi. Steve was reaching out for help and saying he's having a really tough time with all these different things. And Nashi said, mate, I'm here for you. I got you, all this sort of stuff. And Steve just started fucking going off at Nashi, right? Because he's being a prick. You'll see on all of our ads, there's always hate on there. One of our guys, Loz, she's an absolute savage. She said, fuck, Jesus, James must have some thick skin. And so it's not that my skin's any thicker than anyone. I still get affected and bothered when people, go off at me. I'm still human, right? Every single human dislikes it when we experience rejection, we experience hate from somebody else. But there was something which really shifted my perspective on this, and I think that it's going to help you as well. First of all, throughout life, you're always going to deal with fuckwits. That's just part of life. There are always going to be fuckwits. There are always going to be cunts. There are always going to be people like this who are in your life. And there's a saying which is, pray not for an easy life, but for the strength to endure a hard one. First of all, remember that these fuckwits are in your life to make you better. I've had to deal with many, many people who are super fucking annoying. You know how some people, they just want to bring you down at any way in which they can. Instead of thinking of these people as a negative, think of them, oh cool, they're just preparing me for the future. They're making me better so that when I actually have a real challenge which comes up, I can do it easily, right? It's the New Zealand rugby team, the All Blacks. They're the most successful sporting team of all time throughout any sport. And one of the early cultural things that they implemented was that they would make training harder than the game, so that by the time that you got to the game was really, really easy. It's the same thing. You're going to deal with these fuckwits. Think of them as training. They're just simply there to make you better. A good sailor was never made in smooth waters, right? You need to make it so that you have some tough things and some challenges to work through. These people who are fuckwits, these people who are cunts, they are your challenges and they're only going to make you better. The next thing after that is when you encounter a fuckwit, just remember that they're mentally ill. Nobody who is in a right mind would spread hate. Do you see me going out and ragging on people like who are coming in? I mean, I see we've got Baron who is watching this at the moment. Do you see me going onto Baron's timeline, calling him a fuckwit and calling him a cunt and doing all these things and saying that he's full of shit and spreading hate and trying to make his day worse? No, of course you don't. Why? Because I'm happy, right? Because my life's really, really fucking good. Anyone who's doing well in life and anyone who's mentally well is never going to spread hate. And you look on social media at the moment, there's this big thing about everyone wanting to call each other out on their bullshit. They just want to spread negativity because they're mentally ill. Nobody who is mentally sound will ever, ever, ever want to spread hate. Categorically. And you cannot prove that wrong. I challenge you to prove that wrong, but you won't be able to. Because when you're actually happy within yourself, you don't want to create unhappiness within others. It's as simple as that. And so when we look at somebody who's mentally ill, do we go and berate them? Do we go and snap back at them? Do we go and do anything like that? No, of course we don't, right? We treat them with care. We try and correct their behavior, definitely as we would a child. We correct their behavior and we teach them how to act in an appropriate way. We say that the way that they're acting is not appropriate, but we also remember that they're mentally ill and we treat them with compassion. There's a bloke in here, his name was Matt. And Matt was a client of ours. We coached him, we coached his wife because he was so happy with the results that he got with us. He just absolutely loved us. And then Matt turned vegan. And then as soon as he turned vegan, he thought that I was his biggest enemy in the world, right? Maybe because I make a few funny, spicy posts about vegans, who knows? But he turned vegan and started doing that. And so some of you would have seen the other day, Matt was having a go at me. And the way that I simply handled it is like, I know Matt's mentally ill. He's not doing terribly well. And so instead of me going and getting into a slinging match with him, all I did is I simply corrected his behavior, said where he was wrong, and then after that, when he decided to keep on going, just removed him from the group, suspended him for 30 days. Like, it's pretty easy. We don't need to buy into any of their shit. Because in the end of the day, just remember that anybody who is passing on this negativity, anyone who is going on some of these rants, anybody who is in that frame of mind is simply mentally ill. They don't need to be made worse. They just simply need to be cared for, treated with compassion, but we also don't accept their shit at the same time. And that's how a true man acts. So on that note, I'll leave you guys to it. But just remember that when you're dealing with fuckwits and cunts, they're there for you to learn. They're there to make you better. They're there to teach you how to be more patient, how to be more compassionate, how to be more loving and kind to people who don't necessarily deserve it, right? Because of the way they're acting, but they're human, so we always give that to them. And at the same time, it's there to remind us that there are lots of people who are mentally ill out there in the world. And we can go backwards and forwards, and we can engage in a verbal slinging match with them, or go and fucking Facebook warrior against them, but it doesn't achieve anything. It only makes them worse, and it's only going to encourage them to do more of the negative stuff. So instead, we just treat them with compassion, we treat them with kindness. We don't accept their bullshit by any means, but we always treat them with compassion and kindness. I'll speak to you soon, guys. Have a wonderful day.